What's going on, you legends? So the NBA All-Star Game took place last weekend, and I decided why not make a 2K video on it. So for this video, I have Team Kevin Durant versus Team LeBron. I have LeBron's All-Star team on the Lakers, and I have Durant's All-Star team on the Brooklyn Nets. So I'll be controlling both of the, well, not really controlling them. I'll be showing you guys both their rosters. I have injuries off. I have trading off, so no team should trade. They can sign people in the free agency that I had to get rid of. So, like Durant, who didn't play in the All-Star game, is going to play in this. Anthony Davis, who's injured, he's going to play in this All-Star game. So, basically, everyone's playing. So here's the roster for Kevin Durant. If you guys don't remember, Kyrie Irving, Harden, Bradley Beal, Devin Booker, Zach LaVine, Donovan Mitchell, Kawhi Leonard, Jason Tatum, Kevin Durant, Zion Williamson, Julius Randle, Joel Embiid, and Nikola Vucevic. Yes, I know, like, Embiid didn't play really because I don't know if he was injured or if he just didn't want to play. And Durant was injured, so was Anthony Davis? Why is he not on here? Did I not put him on? No, I guess I didn't assign him to the team. I was all confused, like, where's Anthony Davis? Okay, so there. So that should take care of it now. So Anthony Davis is on the Nets because that's who Durant took. Just double check it. Yes, okay. So then we go to the Lakers team. Then you got Steph Curry, Damian Lillard, Luka Doncic, Ben Simmons, Chris Paul, Paul George, Jaylen Brown, LeBron James, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Domantas Sabonis, Nikola Jokic, and Rudy Gobert. So that's kind of who made the All-Star game and who didn't. Let me know in the comment section who you thought should have been in it, because I feel like some people should have been and some people shouldn't. For example, Julius Randle. Sorry, Knicks fans, but Julius Randle, I don't think he deserved to be in it. The guy who did deserve to be in it, though, was Zach LaVine. He was a snub last year of a spot, so he did deserve it because he's doing a lot for Chicago. But some of these people I don't think are deserving of it, but they get it based off their name. So, but plus injuries occurred, so that's also why. One guy I was shocked who didn't make it was Brandon Ingram and Chris Middleton. Those were two guys I was kind of shocked that didn't. So, I mean, I guess it is what it is. You can't really do anything about it. So, we will sim halfway through the season to this All-Star game and see how many of these All-Stars make it and who doesn't. I'm going to try to make them all play about the same amount of minutes-ish, kind of, not basically what they did off of a Sunday night, but kind of based off of like positions, I guess. I don't know. You guys will see. So I'm gonna go edit like the minutes and all that, trying to make it as even as possible, fair, since these guys are all stars. Some will get less than the other, some will get a little more. It's just, yeah. So we'll do that for both sides, and then we'll hit the All-Star break. Show you guys who made the All-Star, who didn't, who made it from other teams, and who shouldn't have. But then we'll slim to the end of the season, and then we'll see if these two teams meet up in the playoffs and play each other in the finals. So that's what we'll do real quick. We'll go fix the rosters and everything up, and we'll see you when we get to the All-Star break. So I just rebuilt the rotations. The only guy who's not going to get any minutes is Randall. Sorry for you Knicks fans, but I just did a rebuild rotation. He didn't make the cut when I did it, so I'm giving these lower guys about 10 minutes, maybe a little more. And then throughout the mid rotation gets increased. And then the sixth man, which is going to be Davis, and we'll get 24 minutes each, and I'll do the same thing about with the Lakers. I'll switch, if I can, if it allows me, I'll switch these guys' numbers so it matches the number that they're wearing now, and not just a random number, so you guys know who they are as well. So I'm just finishing up editing these guys' number. So far, Booker, not Tatum, well, Vucevic, but Vucevic is 9, but so he can be that. But so far, Booker, I switched to number 4 because he's wears number 1, but Zion is number 1 as well. So I just gave it to Zion. Booker is going to be number 4 for you guys. Beal and Davis, I can't get them their numbers because Davis is a 3. Yes, 3, but there is no 3 at all. I'm assuming it's a retired jersey number, so he can't have it. And the same thing with Bradley Beal, who's a 3. So I think for Davis, I'll give him his number he had in New Orleans, which was 23. Because he's wearing 6 right now. Okay, we can't. You give him 23 either. We'll just leave it at 6, I guess. I mean, and then for Beal, we will have to edit his number as well. But everyone else's number is fine where it is. We don't have to change them. He was 24. We're gonna lower it to the next lowest digit, which is 10. We'll just make it double 0. Whoops, back out. Okay, so that's the Brooklyn Nets side. We'll do the Lakers side real quick and make sure everyone has their number relatively close to it or somewhat like that. So that's what we will do right now. So we're on the Lakers side. So far I had to change Giannis since he's 34 and that number is retired because I think Shaq wore it when he was a Laker. So we'll give him 35. I gave George number 12 because 13 was taken when Wilt retired, and then Simmons, who wears 25, is retired as well, so I gave him 26. And I think Elgin Baylor wore it. I don't remember though. But everyone else is good, so I just had to make a few changes there. So we will simulate, as I said, not to the end, to about here-ish or something this month, in here somewhere. Simulate till captains pick their players, and we'll see who made the all-star teams and who didn't, and who's captain of that team and then who isn't. So that's what we're gonna do. So the Lakers team has lost 3 games. They lost to the Kings, they lost to the Suns, and they also lost to the Nets team, which is the other team. I totally forgot. I should have done it showing like a close game in that, but they beat them by 20. So the box score here: Harden had 22, Lillard had 20, or Leonard had 21. All around scoring like I would think. If we look at the Lakers team, Doncic led the scoring there. Jokic almost a double-double. Like, man, the Nets outscored them 40-21 and 30-18 in those first half. Tough game. So the Nets side of things for the All-Star team so far are 49-1. Their only losses to Atlanta, and they lost by 1. I mean, granted, they still have Trae Young guy in Atlanta, but everyone's scoring. It's not like no one's shooting terribly so far. They must have just, I don't know. So far, This is the All-Star Game captain slash draft. So there's Team Russell and Team LeBron. So Westbrook is the captain of the East, and LeBron is still for the West. So auto pick everyone. So it looks like LeBron took Harden, Towns, Tobias Harris, and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. So 3 new faces that weren't on the All-Star team before. Lowry wasn't on there. He also took Leonard, Antetokounmpo, Ingram wasn't on there, and he was Drummond, Young, or Fox. For Westbrook, he took Butler, McCollum, who wasn't on there. Jokic is on there. Adebayo didn't make it last time. Durant as a reserve. Walker didn't make it, but he made it in this simulation. Lillard, Morant made it for his first time. DeRozan made it. Everyone thought he got stubbed. Middleton got snubbed. Everyone thinks from this as well. And Ayton made it. So, out of all of that, we have 3 starters. Or, 2 ideal starters make the starting list again, with that being Jokic and LeBron James. We have Harden, Leonard, Antetokounmpo, Durant, Lillard, and that's it. So 7 All-Stars from this year's All-Star made it still here. So that's kind of interesting. I'm kind of shocked a little bit, but not really, because both teams are full of All-Star players. Let's look at the award races. MVP, the only guy up here is LeBron for MVP out of the All-Star teams. Rookie of the Year doesn't matter because we don't have a rookie. Sixth Man of the Year is either going to go to Lillard or Doncic for the Lakers for their All-Star teams. Defensive Player of the Year, we have Giannis and Davis on there. Anthony Davis on there for Defense Player of the Year. Most Improved, we don't have anyone because they're all All-Stars. So it's kind of interesting, to say the least. It's kind of surprising. Not really, because they're not going to always make it. The league standings, the Lakers lead by 13 games over the Grizzlies. Taking a lot of these All-Star players away from these teams, you kind of see who's struggling and who isn't. The Thunder are still struggling, even though some of these teams don't even have their star players. The Nets, however, are 14.5 game over the Raptors, and granted, we didn't take anyone from the Raptors, but they lost 1 game on the road, and the Lakers lost 2 on the road and 1 at home. And they're on a 28-game win streak, and they're on just a 1-game win streak. The Cavaliers, we took no one. Same with the Hawks, same with the Heat, same with the Hornets. The Bucks, Chris Middleton's doing as much as he can. The Bulls are up there, taking 2 shooters away from Boston, hurts. Taking their big away, hurts. Orlando, even though they're still not that good. Taking the 2 stars away from Philly, kills them. And, Wizards aren't that good, but Beal kind of hurts them. So, let's look at the power rankings. As I thought, it would be the 1 and 2. For your player league leaders, just look at this. Is Shai Gilgeous. For your player stats, though, for the Lakers, Lillard leads with 17 on the Lakers, and on the Nets, Harden leads with 16. Team stats, not much really to show there. Points per game, however, the Lakers score a little more than the Nets do, and points allowed. These 2 are the best defending teams, but the Nets are a little bit better at defending, it looks like. So it's gonna be a good game, I think. So we'll simulate the rest of the season throughout, see how they do, and I guarantee there'll be 1 season each of the East and West. So we'll let it simulate out and see what happens. Alright, so last few games are being simulated now. About that All-Star game, I'm kind of surprised. Like, Klay Thompson didn't make it, John Wall, Victor Oladipo. I'm surprised they didn't make it. And the Lakers lost another one. They were on a big winning streak, lost to the Timberwolves. But they are blowing teams out, both of them, I guarantee. It looks like they will finish the year out with the last 3 games. Hopefully, probably wins, most likely. And they do. Towns won MVP, no shocker, because everyone was limited minutes, because I wanted everyone to play. Ball won Rookie of the Year. 6th Man of the Year goes to Precious Achiuwa. I have no clue how to say that. Kind of surprised that Lillard or Doncic or someone else didn't get it. Isaac won Defensive Player of the Year. He was on the bottom of that list. He made a big jump. Christian Wood got Most Improved. Steve Nash got Coach of the Year for the Nets with a 79-3 record. So they lost 2 games in the second half of the season, while the Lakers only lost 1. But the Nets still had a better record. So no All-Stars made the first team. None made the second team. We only have Antetokounmpo making the third team. For defensive, Antetokounmpo made that first team defensive. For the second team, we had Davis and Simmons. So as I said, they're both going to finish the 1 seed. The Wolves finish as a 2, which kind of actually surprising me, actually. Any awards for any of the All-Star players at all? Much of name players you never see. Joel Embiid made Eastern Conference Player of the Week. Jokic made the Western Conference Player of the Week, and that is it. Any Player of the Month awards, however. And no, there is not. So, kind of interesting scene. I mean, if we didn't limit players' minutes, I guaranteed it would be a different outcome for these guys, but we want to limit their minutes. So the Lakers finished 23 games ahead of the Timberwolves, and the Nets finished 21 games ahead of the Raptors. The Bucks still made it as a 6th seed, it looks like, and the Bulls still made it without Levine. But teams that didn't make it or were so close were, well, they weren't really close. They were 5 games out. But the Magic, Celtics, it kind of shows you when you take out 2 shooters away. In Philly, taking out 2 star players affects you a lot. Mavericks without Doncic struggled. Without Jokic, the Nuggets struggled. Without Gobert in the interior side and Mitchell to basically run the show hurt the Jazz. Zion not being there hurt them for some reason. I didn't think it would hurt them that much, but it did. Portland still makes the playoffs without Lillard. Warriors make it without Curry. The Suns make the playoffs without Paul and Booker. Clippers still make it without Leonard and George. Interesting. Look at player stats real quick, and then we'll simulate the playoffs. Lillard led the league in points for the Lakers, and then for the Nets, Harden led with 15, along with Leonard right behind him. Look at the team stats. The Lakers are basically outscoring the Nets by 1.5 points, and they actually improved in the defensive column. The Lakers did. It was a close race there. It was a close differential by 0.2. The Nets get more shots up and put them in. Out of these 2 teams, the Lakers shoot the least amount, actually. They're 26th in that category. The Nets, and that doesn't surprise me, they're the top 2. Out of the threes, the Nets actually are down here at 4, which kind of surprised me with all the three-point shooting they have. Raptors are always going to have the most attempts because that's what they live and die by. And they're in the mid-pack somewhere. I'm not going to look. They shoot basically the same percentage from deep at the line. The Lakers got to the line a lot more than the Nets did, and they got more attempts up. But however, the Lakers were, top 5. They were 7th on the free throw percentage list. Pacers took first barely over the Nets. I don't want the next 5 games, my bad. I want this season. Offensive rebounding. They have Andre Drummond, but they're probably mid-pack there. Without defense rebounds, the Nets and Lakers both tied for first with 42 defensive rebounds. Overall, the Lakers had more rebounds than the Nets, but of course, you have Drummond on the Cavs, who's going to dominate. Lakers dominated in the assist category with basically 47 assists a game. Lakers had 8.3 steals. The Nets are probably mid-pack there. With blocks, the Nets are up there. The Lakers probably mid-pack. Turnovers, they didn't turn it over that much. About just 1 turnover difference almost. Who fouled the most out of these two teams? Actually, the Nets did not foul as much. And so did the Lakers. They're about neck and neck there. Nets had the better points off turnover ratio. Second chance points. The Lakers were 6th there actually with 12.5. Lakers had 46 points in the paint as well. The bench points goes to the Nets there. And yeah, so that's kind of the categories there for you guys. We're going to simulate the first round. We'll keep an eye on both of the categories. Both teams are up 1-1, 1-1, or 1-0. Okay, Lakers swept. Brooklyn went in a 4-1 series with Chicago. Okay, that was harder than I thought. Both teams are up 2 games, 3 games. Both teams sweep. Are we going to get the 2 all-star teams against each other in the finals? Both teams are up 2-0, 3-0, 3-1, 4-1, and a 4-0 sweep. So we got both teams here. We're going to simulate with Simcast here. So at the end of the first, it looks like the Lakers took the first quarter by 6. Nets took the second by 1. Lakers took the third. It looks like the Lakers are going to win this game. Oh, am I speaking too soon? They almost blew it, but close game. Curry had 23 for the Lakers. Beal had 23 for the Nets. Lakers take 1 game. Simulate again with Simcast. Neck and neck throughout the first. It looks like the Lakers take the first quarter. It looks like they're going to take the second as well. And they're going to take the third. The Nets fighting in the fourth, but it looks like the Lakers are going to run away with it by 11-point victory. George led the team for the Lakers this time out. And then Irving and Embiid have 15 points for the Nets team. My prediction for this was the Lakers. I should have mentioned this at the beginning of the video. That's who I was predicting, because when they did this draft, when I watched it, I was like, my LeBron's team's going to run all over this team. And they did in like the second quarter. It was like 60 to like 40 something in the second quarter for scoring. I was like, jeez. Ooh, we had a tied in the first. It looks like the Nets won the second by 2. They're up, but the Lakers came back in the fourth. Oh, I didn't see it. What was the score? 140 to 134. Doncic had 24. Jokic had a double-double. Beal had 19. Mitchell had 18. I think this will go to a 7-game series. I'm not going to lie. So Nets take the first quarter. Second quarter goes to the Nets as well. Third quarter is going to go to the Lakers, who have the lead and put up 42. The Lakers are going to win this one. Curry with 29 points, 8 for 13 from deep. Lillard had 22. George had 22 as well. Holy crap. Embiid had a double-double, 20 points, 10 rebounds. Man, maybe it won't go to Game 7. We'll see, though. I hope it does. That'll be intense. First quarter goes to the Lakers. Second quarter looks like it's going to go to the Nets. Third quarter goes to the Nets as well. They are up by 12. Kind of a close game. It's a 10-point lead for the Nets. I think the Nets are going to win Game 5. I think, yes. Game 5. Lillard had 18. Davis, Beal, and Harden had 20 plus in that victory. It's a 3-2 series. We'll simulate game. High scoring first, but goes to the Lakers. High scoring third for the Lakers. Lakers looking to put this game away into Game 6. High scoring third quarter for both teams, but I think that second quarter killed the Nets there. And the Lakers are going to run away with a 160-137 victory. Giannis Antetokounmpo with 26 points. LeBron James with 21. Curry with 20. Brown with 19. Jokic with a double-double. Irving had 21. Embiid with 19. Mitchell with 17. Off the bench in only 11 minutes with 17 points. That's intense. The captain, where is he at? Bottom of the list. He only had 2 points. That is awful. But there's your champion. Team LeBron, just like they did in real life, is going to beat the Nets, and Jokic got MVP for it. Like he did in the real All-Star game. Giannis got MVP. But anyways, that's going to round off this video. Kind of, I don't know, was something different. I actually like doing that. It was fun. But we're going to end the video there. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that video, and I will see you in the next video.